The Buffalo Bills will in all likelihood be playing their final game at the current Highmark Stadium when they do host the New York Jets on Sunday at 4:25. We do have three players that are officially ruled out: Daquan Jones, Jordan Poyer, and Terrell Bernard. And that does mean quarterback Josh Allen is considered good to go, but we're going to find out on Sunday just how much Allen is going to play. And then three players are questionable: Joey Bosa, Dalton Kincaid, and Jordan Phillips. And the Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-million. Stay tuned. We'll get more on the Bills. Sal Kapacio joining the show in just about an hour at 4 p.m. Much of the NFL is going to be playing on Sunday with the Bills, but there are two games tomorrow, both with conference implications for the NFC. 4:30, the Bucs host the Panthers. Carolina can clinch the NFC South with a win. Then at 8, Seattle's at the 49ers, and the winner of that game is going to clinch the NFC West and the NFC 1 seed. Over to the Sabres, they do have the day off. They're back in game action tomorrow at Columbus. Puck drop at 3. And the Sabres, they are going for a franchise record 11th straight win. And then there's also some good news for the team today, as 3 players are going to be representing their home countries in the 2026 Winter Olympics this February. Tage Thompson for the United States, Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Finland. And just 5 games today in the NHL. Starting in just a few moments, Vegas at St. Louis. At 8, the Panthers host the Rangers for this year's Winter Classic. Then 2 games at 10:30, Seattle at Vancouver, and the Wild are at the Anaheim Ducks. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
My dad's not here right now. He's still at work. So I'm going to blast him.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I'm going to see if there's a clean version so that my parents and the people at my school will not get mad at me. We've got the spritzer filled with water just in case if stuff gets too fire. I'm going to set up the speaker and I'm going to listen to
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I think this is the best
Mike Schopp
feature that I've heard in a long time. I think his flow is really good in it, and I like his aggressiveness on it, and
the Bulldog.
Put not enough effort in it. I think overall his flow was good, but I don't like that mobile rapping. That was my review of
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Didn't need the spritzer. Wasn't fire enough. No spritzer for you. No spritzer.
What did you put on here? The Tums Bowl? Or wait, Tums is way too recognizable of a brand to have a bowl. What are we watching?
I went for the World Junior Hockey. I didn't. Whatever the bowl game is, the teams didn't. Is Rice involved? I forget who's playing.
Rice.
I just thought
it's a school.
This doesn't sound that good as far as matchups go. And then the game that's at 4:30, the bowl game, Navy is involved.
All right.
And I don't know, nothing against Ross Tucker. I know he loves the Army-Navy game, but I just let's go to the World Juniors. There's an NHL game that's starting at 3. Vegas is playing somebody.
Can't wait.
I don't know who. And that's on ESPN Plus, but we could find it.
Big one.
We could. It is huge. They're all huge, Mike. They're all huge.
Latvia and
Sweden. Oh, Sweden got a late one to get a 2-1 lead going into the first intermission.
You're watching a lot of this?
I have watched a good amount of it. Yeah. There was a U.S. Which game was so good? 6-5 was the final. Czechia.
Czechia.
That was a super fun, like everything the World Junior Hockey Tournament is supposed to be. There's like world-class talent, guys on both sides that are going to get drafted or already have been, and no defense. just up and down the ice and just, that's another 2-on-1. Like it's just one of those games. So I got a good fill. I feel like I watched a lot while I was down. There was stuff most every day.
I would have watched a game yesterday, but there weren't any.
Yeah, that was
New Year's Eve and then today, but yesterday was dark.
Yeah, but yesterday was full of what did I watch yesterday? There was NHL, I think, all day yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Is what there was, mostly. And,
cool.
and the bowl games were
Big
good,
ones.
too. The bowl games were good. They were all part of the playoff yesterday.
I watched, yes.
So college football sort of dominated yesterday for
Oregon.
Me, right.
And I had a parlay. You would have been proud of me. For once did a parlay.
Dipping your toes into the parlay world.
That had a Miami money line on it going into Saturday or going into, what day is it? Thursday? Friday. So going into yesterday, but it died quickly with Texas Tech.
Oh, sure.
Had
Yeah.
Indiana and then Georgia. So I'm glad Georgia lost because then it would have just been the one game.
Yeah, that's annoying when that happens.
I'd rather lose by 2.
Anyway, what's been going on here? Everybody good here? Things good? How's everyone?
I have one. So I think, okay, I have one prevailing thought about like this moment here because, of course, what is it about with the Bills? It's about whether they can actually win it. Can they make the run in the playoffs, run the table on the road, whatever it's going to take. But one day earlier this week, I thought about how, like, okay, well, the stadium is an obvious topic, and anytime you want, if you want to roll, this has always been true. Anytime you want to talk about memories of the stadium, there's a line out the door of people who want to do that. And it was nice a couple of times this week to engage in that a little bit. But I also had the thought a couple of days ago, like, I think this is the last time we'll ever do it. I mean, maybe what happened with the odd? You know, years go by, but it's not before or until years go by. And then, oh, remember the odd? Oh, yeah. You could smoke, oranges, super steep, Bulldog got thrown out.
The cigarette butt things hanging from the ceiling.
Obstructed view.
Right,
like
right.
the cushions on the seats, but not in all the seats. Like, there were conversations that would come up over time about the odd, but I don't know this from personal experience. I think years went by first. I think this year, 2026.
Well, the odd, what real quick, what happened with the odd in part was that it stayed standing for so long after it closed, and then there was the whole taking it apart, and that was a whole nother round of nostalgia about it because it was open and you could see it, and people were going down there to get whatever they could get, or if they knew a guy that could get whatever. There was that whole, just drummed up a whole nother level of nostalgia about it, despite it having been closed for, 2 or 3 years before they knocked it down.
Or many more.
Many more, even. Yeah, I don't remember the timeline.
I think maybe 10.
I didn't want to get too bold. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It's still there when we're working in the atrium of the arena.
Yeah. Like, it closed in 96.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a
10
while. Anyway.
to 15 years.
But that was why I think it may seem like you remember it in stages, because I think there were different phases of it.
Well, maybe. Sure. I think time goes by and your focus is on a new place. And, I mean, can or do you think of the arena at all as new and fancy or whatever else? Like, it's not easy for me to do that. I didn't go to very many games for the first 10 years of the arena. So for me now, it's almost like post-dated. It's not nice anymore. But maybe there was that. I think what I'm about to say, though, when it comes to the stadium is, and maybe you're right, that the fact that it's coming down pretty quickly after the season is over will contribute to this. But this year, will be a lot about, like, all right, what is this actually going to feel like be like to be in it? Are we going to be sort of blown away? Are we going to not like it? Like, some people don't like the fancy restaurants.
Are we going to think it's too nice?
Are we going to think it's too nice?
Right.
Like, it'll be about the new place for a while, and I think maybe, say, 5 years or more in the future, oh, wow, remember this or that?
Well,
remember, the bathrooms or different things.
That's interesting because, I mean, you know this, but, I expect our audience to be taking notes. It had been more than 20 years since I had been to a game as a fan in the stadium. And that changed this past September. Owen and I went to the home Miami game and, sat in the lower bowl and just did the whole thing. We didn't have a big tailgate party. You and I were working until 7:15 or whatever. So we just pretty much got, headsets off, and Owen and I walked into the stadium. And I wonder, like, it's never been I haven't been to enough events to have, like, a real nostalgia that isn't just glomming off of other people's times. I never had a tailgate spot. I never had a group. I never had any of it. Like, I went to random games, some years more than others. Mostly when I started working mornings for a couple of years there, I went to probably 10 home games in 2 years, which is the most I'd ever been. But even that was always different seats and different people, and just it never became a thing, right? I don't have a crew. I could cobble one together. I could glob onto one, but I never did. So I don't have, like, a long list of memories. And when I was in the stadium in September, the one thought I had standing on the concourse after running to get some pizza, in between series, was how small the TVs were on the concourse. And are you kidding me? It's 2025. Like, why these TVs are like the size of the TV I used to have in my kitchen, and you've got a concourse full of people. I'm like, this is it? This is how I'm going to see the game if I want to try to eat out here because I don't feel like climbing past all these people to get to my seat with my knees on my elbows eating my pizza. Man, this is not okay. Like, it should be better than this. And I don't know, if people like that about the stadium, they're maybe going to be upset when they see the new place.
I don't think it's about liking those kinds of details. I think it's about the feeling. And Buffalo, I think, loves its sense of community and even smallness versus the rest of the NFL. We love not being New York or Boston. We love how this is different from the rest of the league. And I think next year will be different, but my only point is that this is the last call for stadium nostalgia, because next week, there'll be updates and maybe they'll even get another home game, but we'll be talking about the playoffs. And then even if they win it all, that'll all happen. And then it's on to the next place.
Right.
And I don't think, in the summer over these last decades, anytime you wanted to, as a talk show host, you could just, hey, what do you remember most about the stadium? Like, what's your favorite time there? Any favorite game? Anything like that. It's just sort of like right there. It's when you check out at the grocery store, that's what's on the rack. That's just sort of sitting right there anytime you want it. And I don't think we'll want to do that anymore.
Right. We've run out.
It's over.
We've run out of runway here.
I think it'll be over after Sunday, mostly. And then 5 years have to pass. And then we could talk about, remember walking up to the upper deck and like, different things. It'll all be far enough away. So that was what's going on here. That was an interesting, to me, revelation this week was, I think this is the last time we can ever use this topic or for a long time. After Sunday, it'll be, of course, it'll be about the playoffs.
And then it'll be whatever happens in the playoffs. And if they go all the way, then it'll be about that. And
but there'll
be no looking back.
We're not sitting here in July on a slow day talking about your favorite memory. Are we? At the stadium? Like, it's just, no, I want to know what the new place is going to be like.
I'm not sure I want to put my name on. We definitely won't do that, or I definitely won't do that at sometime next July.
I want to know what the new place is going to be like and where you sit and what you see and whether the TVs are big enough and like
right.
what there is to eat and drink. I think that'll be where our minds go. But the stadium is also not the only thing on the table right now. It's, to me, not the most interesting thing about the situation right now. I'm not going to the game. I've been to dozens of games there and have lots of memories, but I'm just thinking about who they're going to play next week and how they play this game and who plays and who doesn't and what are the matchups going to be like. And can the Bills, who have not won a playoff game on the road in 33 years, win 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to happen. I think it's also, I would say this, eventually I'll be able to name names. Dan Leberfeld is one. Tyler Dunn is one. Probably Ross Tucker. Just like in different ways, asking them about the Bills' chances in the playoffs. Pretty much consensus, if not unanimously, the vibe is, oh, sure, they can do it. Who else? Who do you like more?
Right.
And that's how we walk into this. Unless there's something dramatic that happens Sunday, we're walking into this as like, well, you're kind of the favorite, but we made it harder for you. You're going to have to you're going to have to go to Florida or Colorado or New England. Like, you're going to have to run this kind of gauntlet. And if you do that, even better for you. That, I think, is how this shapes up going, through Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I do think the most interesting thing about the week, and again, outside of the stadium and its closing, And this being, likely, at least the only game we know of right now. We know the Bills will be on the road in week 1 of the playoffs. We don't know beyond that how the pool will shake out or where they'll end up seated, but whatever. So put that over there. Yeah, how they handle the week, how everyone handles the week is what is most interesting. And for me, as much as I have wanted the fight, maybe they can get there. Maybe they can beat the Jets without even trying. That seems possible to me. Like they could play their backups and still beat the Jets. But anybody to me, like numbers-wise, that does not have to play competitive snaps in this game absolutely should not. Allen should take his, get his ceremonial snap to keep his streak intact, and then he's done. Easier for me to say, certainly than the coach or the other players. I don't have a skin in the game in James Cook getting the rushing title. If they want to try to get him get some padding there, if they need it even, maybe they'll feel like they want to get a little more cushion than they have on Derrick Henry even, because he doesn't play till Sunday night, and that game matters for both teams. So all their best will be going right to the gun there, I would assume. So to me, no one plays. How many backup offensive linemen can I dress? Is a question I'd be asking myself.
There is a limit to that.
Do I have a full complement of backup guys, or does somebody got to kind of suck it up, or maybe a couple somebodies and take turns or whatever just to try to get through this game? But I am not at all worried about it. If I beat the Jets anyways, great. If I get cooperation from the Chargers and or the Texans and Jaguars or whatever I need to happen up above me that lands me the 5, also great. But I am not gunning for anything. I'm going on the road, and I'll take my chances wherever I got to go. I want the rest more than I want anything else for these guys right now.
I agree, and I think I'm expecting most of the NFL to agree, because there are several teams in the same position where they might be able to move up, starting with the Los Angeles Chargers, who announced on Monday that Justin Herbert would not start this game. And I've been saying all week, I think there should be a ripple effect to that where, okay, well, you're Mike Vrabel, and Denver is probably all set at home against the Chargers. So where does that leave me? Do I want to fend off Jacksonville? Do I care? Is it mostly the same, the 2 and the 3? The Bills have been in that boat. And so New England pulls back. Jacksonville really can't because of Houston. They have to win for their division unless Houston loses. So they're in a little bit of a different bucket. Philadelphia is one where the 2 versus the 3, they don't sound like they care at all about that. I think the Rams could be this. Seattle and San Francisco have each other. Green Bay is all set as the 7, and you get the point. So I think this is the vibe, but we don't really know this yet. Sean McDermott didn't exactly lay it out that he's going to do what you said,
right?
But I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Same here.
There only are so many backups you can use, though.
Right. So I made the point about the line. How much can I do? Practice squad elevations, whatever it is. Can I find my way to, enough guys? And other years they've managed to do it, but I think there's always one guy that plays a little more than you'd like. And maybe, I don't know, do they draw straws on that, or do they who's the healthiest, or I don't know how they go about deciding who's going to do that. It might just be position dependent. I don't know, but yeah, that's right. You don't have enough everywhere that nobody has to play that you really don't want to get compromised leading into the playoffs. So there will be some choices to be made. But I fully expect them to lean pretty hard on rest.
What do you want, though? Do you want Jacksonville?
Jacksonville in order, what I would like least is Jacksonville. Then I think I would say Baltimore if they get in, and then New England, and then Denver. In that order, I think I would go.
You'd rather the Ravens than the Jags?
Yes.
I have been, well, not all season, but in the last couple of weeks, I've warmed up to Jacksonville as a serious team. I don't care what they wear, I think. I just don't want to.
It's a better way to be.
I don't really want to care about that.
Yep.
how they dress. The clothes don't always make the man. I feel like I moved to, all right, this is a serious team. They can kind of do everything pretty well. And now I'm back off that.
Oh.
Not because of their uniform.
Okay.
But just, you can look at it as, do they have obvious weaknesses? Okay. What are their strengths? Like, what is it that Jacksonville can do to beat me? And I think the worst case scenario for the Bills in Jacksonville is that they just sort of, they get it to the fourth quarter and it's close. I think that's the worst they'll do. That's almost all their games, the Bills. But I think that's the worst they would ever do in Jacksonville is a game like the Falcons game where, all right, wow, this is, but then you're still right there. And then I would probably trust the Bills. Like, I'd be looking to bet the Bills live if they're down 7 or more at any point in this game. But what is that based on? That's not based on colors. That's based on that Jacksonville hasn't ever done it.
Right.
And the Bills are, they have Allen. Like, there should be, I want to have some faith in that. I decided, but I've not, completely signed for this in blood, that the Patriots are a worse matchup for the Bills than the Jaguars because of Vrabel and even McDaniels. I think their coaching experience is what is one of our biggest fears about the Bills is that when it comes down to it, it just happened on Sunday. We haven't talked about Philadelphia, but when it comes down to it, something will be amiss. Whether it's on Sean McDermott or even if it's on Allen or just somebody. And I don't want to have that happen. I don't want to have the game come down to one play against New England.
Because you don't think
I
they're
think
going
I'll
to crack.
blow it.
You don't think they're going to crack, and we might.
I think the Bills would blow it.
Yeah.
If it came down to sort of one play on the road in Foxborough, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'll take a quarter in Jacksonville. I don't want to come down to one play in Foxborough because, there'll be a flag. There'll just be something. This is, say what you want about this take. It's not my favorite, but so there's that. I think we've said this about Baltimore for a month. If they get in, they're going to do it looking scary. And I think that's still true. Like, if they beat Pittsburgh, I think they'll probably show you what you are afraid of about them. Mm-hmm. Jackson comes back. Henry pops. I feel like they'll probably lose.
Yeah.
But if they do win, I think they'll probably impress you.
I think that's right, but they have to win first. And also that I sort of share that mindset about them, but at the same time, if you think they won't be able to even get this done, why would I like them in the playoffs even more? I just feel like there's something is amiss there, and they may just talent their way in or scheme their way in or even coach their way in. I don't know, because they're playing Pittsburgh on Sunday, and I don't think that's the heaviest lift ever. But there's a lot of history there, and those games are often very tight, low scoring. 18-16, is that your call usually?
Something
on
like
those games. But I got over being scared of Baltimore, I think, in this whole thing. Just because I just don't know that I really want to trust it. Like, if it comes to like a push to a shove, tight game late in the playoffs, they're not going to crack. Jackson isn't going to crack. Like, that's all he's really done is crack. And now he's getting heat, from the outside now in a way that just has not happened prior to this in his career. Really, there's been, starting out, of course, that was a whole different thing. But, since he established himself as the MVP caliber player he is, it's mostly been, he's sick again? But then this thing last week was like a hit piece, like video games and sleeping through meetings and all this stuff. To me, that whole thing could crumble Baltimore. So I'm not that worried about them. Jacksonville, it was 2 weeks ago now that timelines are all screwed up. But the last time I was here was off of them playing in the 4:00 window against Denver. And I was with Nate those 2 days, and on that Monday, I feel like we spent a good amount of time talking about how maybe everybody's eyes are open, because that was on locally here. I don't know how much time Bills fans had spent sitting with the Jaguars, but there's a 4:00 game, and maybe the fact that the playoff pool is shaking out the way it is, let me check this team out. And they were an eyeful and a handful. I just feel like they do everything pretty well. I don't know what they're great at, but I feel like everything is like the pass rush is pretty good. They're taking the ball away like crazy. So defense overall is somewhat intimidating. The quarterback has the arm. He can move. The running backs are good. The skill all over the field in the passing game. Like that to me is a scary looking team.
I don't know. That sounds like playing Miami. Just like, well, we might have next week to discuss it. It's Football Friday on WGR. It's brought to you by Celino Law. Car crash? Call Celino. Call the 8s. And by Crosby's Pizza and Subs. Crosby's Hometown Fuel. Game day ready since 1922. Sam Panayotovich next. It's time for us to take a break. We'll be back in a snap. It's brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills. Stock up and save.
47 yards. And it is good! Right down the middle!
Why the need to shout? Thank you. Ole Miss. Bulldog, would you ever put money on a team with Ole in its name? Well, you should have.
I definitely have.
Ole?
Yeah, on them, I think. Probably in the past. Not yesterday, but other times.
With us now is nationally acclaimed sports betting analyst Sam Panayotovich, host of the Chicken Dinner podcast. You can also hear Sam here and there on 670 The Score in Chicago.
Is this a new read? Do I need to get something updated here? Nationally, what was that first line?
Nationally acclaimed.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I get it right if I'm ever. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't seen the.
You think Sam wrote it?
I haven't seen the copy. I don't know. I don't know what's
Would
going on.
Sam write that about himself?
No, probably not.
Did I overstep, Sam? I'm sorry. Nationally acclaimed is that not right?
I would appreciate, good dude would be a good intro for me. You guys know me. I don't need much.
Maybe next week. Maybe you'll get lucky next week. I'll write a different one every week. How about that?
Good.
The last time I saw you was the last time I saw a Bulldog before today at his house. And apparently, Sam, did you know this? After we all left pretty close together, like a lot of us left the party at the same time, singing broke out.
Oh, really?
I know.
I never wanted to leave. I told Mrs. Bulldog the last thing I want to do is leave. But, we had to leave. It was getting late, and we had to drive to Chicago.
Yeah.
My wife begged me to stay so she could leave without me. And I said no.
How heartwarming is that? That's
Please stay.
That's true love right
You're
there.
having so much fun.
That's what that is.
Like, what do you want me to do? Find a ride home in the morning? Like, how badly do you want to be apart from me that you are begging me to, 3 times? She's like, no, you really should stay. Like, no, I'm not staying. My car is here. I'm with you. Like, we're going home together.
I would tell you, she might have had a good read. Many people enjoyed your company at the party.
Sam.
No, you, Mike.
Oh,
I'm talking to you.
I've
so
never heard this.
she might have had a read on that like you not only were you having a good time, but that everyone was enjoying you being there.
I was on. I didn't stick my face into any dish of artichokes, but I was feeling pretty good. I had a good night. I think I had a good night.
You and Debbie got rave reviews from everyone too, so it all landed very well.
What a night!
I was very happy with how everything went.
I felt like I was the glue guy on a championship team. That's how I felt that night. And we told the story, Bulldog, last Friday. When Sal walked up, shook my hand, and then went right into the artichokes, I've never seen something like that in my life. Like, I don't eat artichokes to begin with, let alone artichokes at a party. He shook my hand and then went right hands deep into the artichoke, ate it, smiled, and then carried on with his life. And I could not comprehend what had just happened.
Yeah.
What a sign of respect. I'm just going to touch you and then go right into the food. I'm not worried about, there's nothing bad that could happen. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Well, I went 2 for 4 in the playoffs. I was on Miami money line, so look at me, but did not expect Texas Tech to get shut out, if that's what happened, right? That's what happened. So what should we have known yesterday that maybe we didn't?
Just how bad Alabama is in the trenches. And I think the farther away we get from Nick Saban's retirement, it makes more and more sense because he realized that the walls were kind of closing in there, and he waved that white flag after they lost to Michigan, and Alabama just is not the same team. And I think a lot of people, and we've talked about this for a couple weeks now, and I told the two of you guys I thought Oklahoma was a good bet against Bama, and they had a 17-0 lead at home and blew it. I was much more disappointed with Oklahoma than I was impressed with Alabama. And I mean, Indiana beat the brakes off of them yesterday, guys. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw, I had to have a little victory lap last night because I was being called a Midwest mouth breather and a four-eyed nerd. Indiana, who's Indiana? And Indiana showed you who Indiana was last night. I mean, Alabama had another game where they couldn't run the ball, and the Hoosiers just blasted them. If you go back and watch that game, it's domination by the Hoosier O-line and D-line. just rep after rep after rep, and they poured it on. And you know what's crazy? They're up almost 30 points. Curt Cignetti, the head coach of Indiana, is still not satisfied. Like, that's the wildest part of that whole game. But the books were baiting you. They had the worm on the reel, and they wanted you to bet 7 with Alabama, and it never was close yesterday.
I have taken Indiana a bunch of times this year with a pretty big number, Sam, and I got burned a time or two. They didn't cover every game where they had 28-point spread or whatever, but they covered a lot of them, and a lot of my thinking was they're Indiana. They know how they're thought of. And I think this coach is going to want to just keep going 120 miles an hour whenever he can, even if they're up by 30 in the fourth quarter. They're going to go because they know any little ding they get on them is going to be, 10 times the size of the ding that it would be on a Michigan or an Ohio State because they're Indiana.
It was very funny all summer long. Fox wanted to do this content because Fox has the Big Ten, and I write for Fox and do bear bets and all that. They were really trying to drill home the question all summer, who is this year's Indiana? And everybody had a different answer. Guess who nobody said? Indiana.
Indiana, right.
It's like, oh, well, Indiana's still really good. And, oh, by the way, in the transfer portal, they're going to add the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback. It's just so unheard of. And I think there's really a lot to – chew on there, that Alabama was a 7-point dog to Indiana in a playoff game. And if you would have told me that 2 years ago, I would have had you institutionalized.
Right.
Like that, it wasn't even fathomable. I mean, forget winning the game, being a 7-point favorite and dominating. It's crazy. And it was a down year for Penn State, obviously. It was a down year for Michigan. I had to laugh. I'm watching the Penn State Clemson game, and those were the 1 and 2 teams in the country this summer, right? It's like, how far did they fall from grace? But it says a lot about the coaching staff, the development, and now, there's more money at Indiana than there is at several power schools. Like Mark Cuban's putting in a lot of money, and the endowment and all the boosters. Like, Indiana is a national power, and I don't think anybody saw it coming outside of the state of Indiana.
You say often you're a numbers guy, and the fact that it was 7.5 was enough for me. Like, I don't have to think about this. They're dying for you to bet Alabama. Come on, look at the names. But, that doesn't always work out. Mendoza, I believe, is the first, not that you'll care about this necessarily, probably shouldn't, the first Heisman winner I've ever seen play in person in college. Because my son and I randomly went to a Cal Pitt game last year at Heinz Field. We were in Pittsburgh for his lacrosse tournament, and Mendoza was the quarterback of the Cal Bears. And look at him now. So I saw Vic in person in college. He didn't win it. I saw Brady in person at the Dome. He didn't win it. But Mendoza, I've got that. Lots of these guys in the pros. Sam, I talked to Joe Ostrowski on Wednesday about awards, and there are still some NFL. There are still some interesting ones with only 1 week to go. How about the path that Offensive Rookie of the Year has taken us on this year? Do you think it's over? What have you sort of thought during the season about that award?
I just wish I would have, listened to your analysis of Tyler Shuck a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, nah, there's not enough games. And now you look at his price, and you just kick yourself sometimes. Often for me, it's the bets I don't make than the ones that I do. And I don't have a single bet on the offensive rookie. I've got offensive player, but offensive rookie has been 8 different favorites this year?
Maybe.
To win the offensive rookie? Yeah, I mean, that sounds right. I just threw it against the wall. It sounds right, though, if you go through the list. I mean, a lot of those guys were favored at some point this season. I don't know who's going to do it. I still don't know that the voters are going to get into the box and vote for Shuck, but we'll see. I think the storyline, though, in the awards market is the Saturday night game with JSN against McCaffrey. And, we had a couple of tweets at Joe and I, Bet Sweats, Now Chicken Dinner listeners. If you've been listening all season, Joe told you to take JSN at 50-1, and I told you to take McCaffrey at 30-1. And they're the not co-favorites, but they're 1 and 2 on the list right now. I'm a little terrified of a Puka Nacua 200-yard receiving game, but that's because I'm sick.
What about Bijan?
I mean, you think he can do it?
I think he could rush for 200 yards again. and maybe win the rushing title that way, depending on Cook and if the Bills rest him or it just doesn't get there. And I think that would mean a lot to this.
He's got 2,000 all-purpose yards. I do know that because I saw it on the TV in the last game. That was the game they were playing the Rams, and I'm like, wow, that's a really good season. The problem is, here's what you run into when you're a guy like Bijan Robinson. Your team's not good enough. Okay. And I know that it's not a team award, but oftentimes it's a really good player on a playoff team. So I think the Falcons' lack of wins, which we talk about every year, they have all the talent and they never win enough at least. I don't think that the team is good enough. I really do think whoever has the better game on Saturday between Smith and Jigba and McCaffrey will win the offensive player.
Okay. MVP, maybe you get a game where May rests half the game or something. I don't know, maybe not. Could anything change there, or is it too late?
It just Stafford had it right there for the taking, and they just kept stubbing their toe down the stretch. And look, it's not to take anything away from Drake May. I feel like he sort of just backed into it. It's like there were several guys that had a chance to potentially sneak in there, whether it was Stafford, whether it was Allen. You know, I hate to bring this up in Buffalo, but if Allen completes that 2-point conversion, maybe we're talking about Josh Allen for MVP, but we're not. It's just like Drake May's the last one standing because he just hasn't made that colossal mistake. But then you look at the Patriots' schedule, and it's just been cupcake after cupcake after cupcake. He's a really good young quarterback. I don't watch him. I don't turn the tape on and think MVP, but I guess that speaks more about the dominoes falling around, right? No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar. None of those guys really did anything this year in terms of MVP flash. So it's going to be a Drake May award, but it doesn't really feel like that impressive of a season. I hate saying that out loud, but that's just the way I feel.
What do you make of Coach of the Year?
I think Shanahan should win it, personally. And I don't have a single dollar on Kyle Shanahan. I mean, if that team knocks off Darnold in a big game, which is very likely, right?
Could
Sam
happen.
Darnold. This is what we call Sam Darnold pumpkin season, Bulldog.
Yes.
If the San Francisco 49ers have 4 defensive starters on the injured reserve for 6 or 7 weeks like they have, Bosa, Warner, Gross-Matos, Williams, and Mac Jones is playing quarterback for a whole month, and they go to the 1 seed in the NFC, how does he not win the award? If I had a vote, I would give it to Shanahan if they win on Saturday.
What do you like Week 18? Is it one of the more important games, or do you like to sort of, if you will, dumpster dive into the games where nothing is at stake?
I won't have a lot of bets. Here are the 2 that I made: Carolina +3 and San Francisco +2. Ironically, those are both on Saturday. So I do have both dogs, Carolina and San Francisco. And I will pass along a little thing that I heard when I lived in Vegas from a bookmaker named Chris Andrews. He said if they must win in Week 18, they must not be that good. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. You're definitely paying a tax on 2 teams this week, Tampa Bay, and you're paying a tax on Baltimore. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I don't think Baltimore should be favored by 3.5 in Pittsburgh. Ironically enough, though, Mike, we did bet against Pittsburgh last week with Cleveland. I think this would be the time to bet Pittsburgh because everybody's going to bet the Ravens. Oh, it's a must-win. They got to win this game. When they got to win, it's often because they're not that good.
As someone who we know from these many weeks having gone by here has been really backing the Bills as a Super Bowl pick and a Super Bowl winner, do you have any preference about how hard they should go chasing the 5 or the 6 or just sort of let the chips fall where they may? What are you valuing here in this Week 18 game against the Jets? Rest or try to get the best seed you can?
Option C, health. Health would be nice. I guess that goes into the rest conversation.
That's what
I was listening to you guys. Yeah, I was listening to you guys earlier when you were opening up the show, and I agree. I would much rather you be healthy. The way it shakes out, let's assume the Bills are going to beat the Jets, even if the starters only play a half. The key thing is that the Chargers are a 13-point dog in Denver. So if you play that out, the Texans probably win, the Bills probably win, and the Broncos probably win. So then Buffalo is what, the 6?
6.
And then you go to Jacksonville. That's a team that's just ripe with playoff success, Jacksonville. I think Mike and I talked about it last week. It's like, who's the flavor of the week? Oh, now it's Jacksonville. Got it. Let's bank on another team that's never won big games in the playoffs. I don't care who they play. I've said that for months. Just get in, and now that said, we're going to need 17 to make that throw in the playoffs, boys. That 2-pointer, we're going to need that throw to. We're going to need that throw to land in the playoffs. There's no next week in the playoffs, unfortunately, if you don't make that throw.
Right on, Sam. Thanks for your time today. We will preview whatever matchup the Bills have next Friday. Thank you.
All right. Happy New Year, boys. See ya.
Nationally acclaimed sports betting analyst Sam Panayotovich with us, which is, not wrong.
Chicken dinner
podcast. Sal at 4 today. The drive at 5, that's on us.
Oh, first day back. I'm so nervous.
I know. I mean,
what does that mean?
This is not easing you in.
What does the drive at 5 mean? I don't even know.
This is not easing you in.
No Sal for the drive at 5.
Well, maybe we'll play tape. I don't know. It's the holidays. Also, the line still to come today, and NFL picks. It is a football Friday.
A lot to get ready for. I do. You'll believe me. Both of the picks that Sam just gave us for the NFL are on my list.
Who were they again?
The Niners and the Panthers tomorrow.
Okay.
I was on both of those.
I don't have mine done yet, but noted.
Right. I should not have told you that.
Noted. No, whatever. What if I take them? What are you going to do? You probably change them. It's getting late. Yeah. Sal at 4. That's pretty soon. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Happy New Year. Football Friday continues on WGR. Open the Bulldog. That's right. Both of us here. Sal Kapacio coming up in about 10 minutes. Here's Luke next. Hello, Luke.
Hey, guys. Just to chime in on the conversation you had in the beginning of the show, I just wanted to say that, to me, my favorite part about these Buffalo sports is having them as a conduit to create moments with your friends and family. I'll always remember where I was and the people I was with for massive moments, like 13 seconds, that brawl in Ottawa. I was blessed enough to be in the building for that Nying Hines 2 kick returns and for RJ's last call against the Preds. I really just cherish the opportunity to experience those emotions and moments together, good or bad. It might sound silly and you could be cynical about the corporate nature of sports, but these shared experiences are something that, Buffalonians, Western New Yorkers use to relate to each other and become friends and put differences aside. So I'm grateful for these teams. I'm grateful for you guys and the work you do. Because over here, it just means a little more and, really helps make the city of good neighbors live up to its name. So that's all I got. One love. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Good deal, Luke. Thank you. Well done. I don't think any of that's silly. It's not everything, but it's a lot of it for me.
The part of calling us as working is silly.
Right.
Otherwise.
But like the emotional tie and the bind, you get to be friends with people because of these events. Sometimes. That's happened to me. I've got lifelong friends that we became friends during the comeback game. Literally. Like, didn't really know each other before the comeback game, experienced that together, and ended up being, in each other's weddings. Like that. That's what sports, it can be a vehicle for that. It's a lot of other things and many different things to many different people. But for me, it's absolutely that. It's one of the reasons I've always felt so proud to have this job and have the privilege of talking to so many people every day doing this, is that I feel like that is very much a touchstone for me in sports. If I wasn't in this job, I'd be listening to the people doing it, I think, assuming I liked how they were doing it, because I like that community vibe that there is to that. And what's really cool is right now we're just on the cusp of figuring out what to do with the hockey team in that respect, as it's been a long time since at this time of the year we had any reason to care when the next game was, really. But we're there now, so that's pretty hot.
The afternoon they played in Edmonton, their first win of these 10 in a row, a guarantee to win. You don't want to know how I feel about tomorrow. Thank you, Luke. Sal Kapacio next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, Football Friday, WGR.
The Buffalo Bills will in all likelihood be playing their final game at the current Highmark Stadium when they do host the New York Jets on Sunday at 4:25. 3 players are officially ruled out: Daquan Jones, Jordan Poyer, and Terrell Bernard, while 3 players are questionable: Joey Bosa, Dalton Kincaid, and Jordan Phillips. And with that, with no injury designation, Josh Allen should be considered good to go. But we'll find out just how much he'll be playing on Sunday when the game day does arrive. And the Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Do stay tuned. We'll get more on the Bills coming up next as Sal Kapacio will join the show. Around the NFL, much of the league is going to be playing on Sunday with the Bills, but we do have 2 games tomorrow afternoon. 4:30, the Bucs host the Panthers. Carolina can clinch the NFC South with a win. Then at 8, Seattle is at the 49ers. The winner of that game will clinch the NFC West and the NFC 1 seed. To the Sabres, they are off today. They're back in action tomorrow at Columbus, a 3 p.m. puck drop. And the Sabres, they are going for a franchise record 11th straight win. And that is not the only good news for the team, as they will have 3 players representing their home countries in the 2026 Winter Olympics this February. Tage Thompson for the United States, Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Finland. And then around the rest of the NHL, just 4 games today. The start of the second period, Vegas and St. Louis, that game is tied at 1 goal apiece. At 8, the Panthers host the Rangers. That's this year's Winter Classic. Then 2 games at 10:30, Seattle at Vancouver and the Wild at the Anaheim Ducks. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's the drive at 4. No, that would never be. Nope. You'd be laughed out of the room in radio.
Hang on, we need something that rhymes. It's the boar at 4. No, that's bad.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
No, it has
that
to
does
rhyme.
Not shine a
or
very
else
complimentary light on Sal either. I'm sorry, Sal.
How dare you? In radio, it would have to rhyme, or else you're fired.
The roar at 4.
That's maybe something.
More at 4.
Yeah.
Sal's a third part. We're bringing Sal in. It's more at.
If the word weather didn't come close to rhyming with together, who knows what? We might all be out of business. I mean,
that's right. There would have never been
traffic.
traffic.
There would never have been weather together. And traffic and weather. Nothing in weather
traffic
together.
Would have gotten lost. It needed to be tethered to weather.
That
also rhymes!
One of the, hidden gems out there in radio lore. Sal Kapacio, are you still there?
I'm just taking notes for next year's "'Twas the Night Before" Buffalo Sports Christmas poem while you guys are doing that, so I can rhyme some things here.
If it doesn't rhyme, just leave. Okay, so here we go. The final game, likely to be the final game at the stadium. Certainly the final regular season game. Sal, have either of us asked you like your all-time moment there? Is there one? Are there too many where it's too hard to name one?
There are many. It is not too hard for me to name one. It is 51-3.
Okay.
I am a senior in high school. I'm in the front row of the upper deck on the Raiders side, and it's incredibly hard to explain to anybody how amazing it was inside that stadium for a full hour and a half, knowing the Buffalo Bills were going to their first Super Bowl ever, and it was a complete party the entire second half. It's just something that I'll never forget. And I would say that the perfect game probably came kind of close for a lot of people, knowing the Bills were burying the Patriots the entire second half. It was amazing. But to go to the Super Bowl, the backdrop of the first Gulf War, everything that happened, that is number one for me on top of a list of many others that I guess would come close.
You've made this point before. I think we talked about it at some point in the months leading up to now, and just for some reason, just now hearing you say it, like, to be there, it definitely feels to me like a thing that if I had been there, I'm sure I would agree with you. But I wasn't. I wasn't there for that, and I wasn't there for the comeback game. So, like, when I was asked by Tim Graham at The Athletic to put together a ranking of games, I had those 1 and 2, but with the comeback game on top because it was such an incredible game and it's the greatest comeback in history and all that. But man, I hear you loud and clear on 51-3. Like that feeling, even though I wasn't watching it in the stadium, knowing we went out, it was a nice day where I lived at the time. We went out and played basketball at halftime, came back midway through the third quarter. It was just like, there's no pressure. I can do anything I want right now. During the AFC Championship game, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I wasn't at the comeback game either. One of the only couple of games I didn't go to during the playoff run of those years. And so I couldn't tell you, but I could only imagine the reason why I would still probably put it above if I was there is the comeback was terrible for the first half, and then you were on the edge of your seat, and you didn't know how it was going to end, and you couldn't enjoy the moment. Going to your first Super Bowl, enjoying the moment with 80,000 people partying was unbelievable. And I still remember, it's still in my brain, the three chants that came out. Thank you, Bills. Thank you, Bills. Super Bowl. Super Bowl. And then unbelievably, considering the time period and a few years after when he was just, always just vilified, thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ralph. This happened the entire second half.
Yeah. The part of this also comes to what task are you being asked? What's the question you're being asked? What's your favorite moment, or what's the best game, right? Because a 41-3 game at halftime that ends 51-3 is nobody's idea objectively of a good game or a great game.
Correct.
It's a great experience, whereas the comeback game is a very different experience, like you're saying, for the first half, but the game is way more compelling as it lays out into the second half because of the greatest comeback. So you got to kind of be careful about what question you're answering, when you're looking at that too, I think.
I think so too. I've said this many times, right? That's the greatest thing for the experience for me. It's a great way to put it. It's a great word. The moments, the snapshot moments, I don't know if there's anyone better than Taron Johnson's pick six for me. I was one of 7,000 people in the stadium, basically, right? And I've always said that's the first time in my life I think I could tell you that things moved in slow motion for me. And I never believed when people would say, oh, this moved in slow motion. I always thought it was a bunch of hogwash. I think it did. It was he's running down the sidelines. I'm in the stands because I couldn't get on the field because of the COVID protocols, and the fans in the stands I'm watching them just jump up and down in slow motion. It was unbelievable. That's a snapshot moment.
Yeah.
I have a couple that are just professionally just kind of amazing and incredible, like Bill Vinovich, the referee in the game, coming over to me during the snow game against Miami and asking me to announce to the crowd to stop throwing snowballs. And I had to explain to him I was on the radio and I'm not the PA announcer. It was really funny and incredible.
Yeah. Wow.
Being hit against the wall during a fight between Shaq Lawson and Leonard Fournette. I got hit against the wall while they were fighting.
We were there for that.
Last year, guys, I say it this way. I was the closest person on the planet to Mark Andrews when he dropped the ball. And I picked it up and handed it to the official. It was incredible.
Did the official then ask you to make an announcement about how bad the drop was?
No, he just.
How does Bill Vinovich not know that the sideline reporter doesn't?
I don't know. He's remembering Sam Weish grabbing the microphone from the sideline somewhere and telling you, you're not in Cleveland.
Yeah, there was some way to do it.
Right.
Yes.
So he assumed maybe that's the wire that he saw you with the microphone and thought of Sam Weish. And okay, I'm going to go ask that guy. I'm going to do this.
Can I throw in one of mine?
He sees the mic on my hip,
yeah.
and I have this great photo of me explaining to him, and the look on his face. Bulldog, I got to show you the photo if I never did. You will laugh because he's looking at me what are you talking about? You can't announce this.
I'll throw in one of mine. I'm not clear on a number one. Most of my favorite moments, they're all before I started working there. They're all as fans. But I remember where I was sitting in 1990 for the game against the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And it was this huge game, not the utmost pressure because it was an NFC opponent, but it was still much like last week. It was two good teams, playoff teams meeting in that game. And the Bills got out 24-0. They got out on Philadelphia that day. Nice try.
Yeah.
And I'm at the corner all the way down at the other end of the stadium from where the Eagles are snapping the ball on the Randall Cunningham to Fred Barnett play. And I just remember like being in awe of it. Like you could barely, you saw Bruce Smith, who never let go. He never missed. So he's got Cunningham like wrapped up. Well, we found out in the Super Bowl there would be a second time.
Yes.
But he had Cunningham like sort of dead to rights in the end zone. And the place is already in hysterics because the Bills are dominating this team. And then wait, the ball comes out, Barnett, and he's just running up the field. And like that's right in front of me. And just like, wow, that was something. This is one where I kind of wanted to be able to see this on television because I don't even really know what I just saw.
What happened in the end zone, you're not real clear on. It's so far away.
You get one look at it, and the replays weren't good yet on the scoreboard. So maybe not my favorite game ever to have gone to, but something I still think about.
Yeah. You guys know, and I've said, I hold it dear, too. I had a chance to play in the stadium. I played a championship game there, and I'll never, ever forget walking out of the tunnel with a helmet and shoulder pads on, right? I mean, like, I go down the tunnel every week now. And I still remember coming out of the tunnel and looking over and seeing moms and dads and everybody in our student body and people cheering. Like, it was just pretty amazing to be able to kind of say you played on that field,
I wouldn't pick Bulldog that 1997 Denver game where I was relegated to that lounge area in the press box where you're not allowed to see the field, and almost the entire Denver media contingent didn't make it to Buffalo because of snow. So I took the liberty of taking a seat and was absolutely reamed out in the press box for doing so.
For sitting somewhere
that's not my favorite memory of the stadium.
Is that the Andre Reed double reverse pass game?
Maybe. Yeah. I thought maybe it would be okay to sit down. No.
Yeah.
No, not without, filling out forms and whatever else.
Well, Sal, what do you, does it feel a little weird that the game is one of these games where we don't know who should play, how much should we play, what is the stake, how hard do you want to chase the stake? It kind of bums me out that, like, this game, I'm glad the Bills have an option here. They don't have to go hard just to get in the playoffs, that they're assured of at least playing beyond Sunday. But it's kind of weird, like all the hoopla about the red helmets and like Josh Allen is likely to take a snap and then sit down, I'm guessing. I don't know what your guess on that would be at this point, but that would be mine.
Yeah, mine too. So it's funny, my ideal situation when the schedule came out for this was the Bills have the 1 seed wrapped up, the game doesn't matter, and they can just have fun with this, and the fans can have fun with this. We can enjoy the moment. We can enjoy the finale and everything that goes along with it, even though it wouldn't be then the final game.
Right.
So we're kind of like that, except obviously it didn't go the right way. The standings, this is going to be the last game. But what we did get is, there's no pressure to win really, I guess, other than, you can improve your seating, and they're going to have to kind of think about that a little bit. But I do like the fact that it will be about Highmark. It won't be about the pressure of the game and winning and trying to win the division this week. And I know you'd rather have it the other way. You'd rather have this game meaning get it the 1 seed and all that. But I do like that we can kind of just really enjoy the doing what we need to do here with the stadium, and the fact that the Bills can actually get Josh Allen out of there and get James Cook out of there and get ready for the playoffs and be healthy. What
kind of sense do you get about Cook? I think we agree on Allen. I'd be very surprised if anything other than him taking a snap to continue his game started streak, and then sitting down. Cook is a little more complicated. Like I'm sure it matters to the offensive linemen. I'm sure it matters to Cook. How much? I don't know. Guys can be different about stuff like that, thinking about the big picture as opposed to individual accolades. I just wonder how. I don't know. Is it delicate at all to you, the Cook situation?
I don't know if I'd say delicate. I think that everybody, in some sense, is on the same page, which is this. It's important to them. It's important to James Cook. James Cook wants to win the rushing title. Sean McDermott acknowledged to me on the Extra Point Show today that they're very aware of it. I think, yet last year is a great example of how much these things do matter, which is when they put James Cook back in the game after he was out so he could break the rushing, whatever, tie it or break it, the rushing TD record. You guys remember? Well, he's 47 yards ahead of Jonathan Taylor. They're going to know going into the game what he needs or not needs, but you do have Derrick Henry lurking behind him at like 137 behind. But McDermott acknowledged it today that this is something they want. It's a very big source of pride. And I think, if I remember correctly, the way Sean described it with me, or maybe it was after me when he was with the rest of the media, it was interesting. He mentioned the O-line as part of this. Like, that's a big source of pride to have the rushing title leader.
You know, I hope no one is superstitious enough to hold this comment against me, but one, I thought, strike against Cook coming into the league was because of his size, he was never going to be a bell cow. Like that, the Bills even said that day one, and it's still been true. Like on third down, he comes off the field. Like he plays plenty, but he doesn't play at all. And neither does Henry, by the way, at this stage of his career. But anyway, just like one strike against him, I thought was 5'11", 190. Like what is that going to be in terms of how much mileage you can handle? He has been very durable. Like he missed one game last year, nothing this year so far. So, it might be a little bit of a trap, I guess, or not. But maybe there's a sense of confidence that Cook is impervious to an injury, right? Because he's just been able to take on so much, and I'd want to be careful with that.
I totally get it. I know I think that part is the delicate part, right? Which is you don't want to really chance anything, but you also know that this is really important to everybody involved. So that being said, I agree with you. He's been very durable. I just think the way he runs, his vision, the way he's able to kind of move his body around, he doesn't take a lot of big hits. They also run a lot of inside zone where he can kind of maneuver and pick his holes. He's not running right into the line and these big guys. So all that helps for sure. And look, I think that they all know that James Cook is a very, very important piece of them needing, him to be available once it comes to next week. It's also, you play football. Football players play football, and that's what, coaches will always tell you. There's only so many guys you can play. So I would expect him, if he needs to get to a certain mark, to pass Jonathan Taylor, they'll do that. What I wonder is if Taylor doesn't catch him, do they play him at all? Because with Henry behind him, you just say, if Henry gets him, he gets him. But do you want to get him some extra yards? I don't know. Yeah.
Speaking of the durability, only Taylor has 2 more carries than Cook in the NFL the entire season. Like he's 307 carries. So even though he is coming off the field, like Mike says, no one has carried the ball more times.
It's interesting, too, because like Taylor does not have an easy backup. There's not somebody like Bijan has Algier. Gibbs has Montgomery. Taylor doesn't have anybody. Like there's nobody moving in on his workload. But, Cook has Johnson or even Davis. Like there's been a little bit of that. Johnson is more of a pass-catching role. That is interesting, though. And I could totally see Henry running him down if he doesn't play at all, because Derrick Henry on Sunday night, and if they get out against Pittsburgh, that's going to be their number one. It's not; these teams are always very close, but if it does happen that way, then Derrick Henry is your rushing title winner. If it's if the Bills choose to sit Cook,
if they sit Cook down, you could easily see him going for 150 or more,
or even Bijan,
right?
Because what else do they have? Like he's within the same sort of distance as Cook, I think. Sal, what about injuries here? So you talked to Sean McDermott today. What do we need to know?
Terrell Bernard has been ruled out of the game, so we'll see. Now, I do wonder about, on this note, is Shaq Thompson going to play a lot? He's an older player. You need him, and especially Bernard's injured. You don't want 2 middle linebackers down, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Joe Andreessen get a lot of run in this game, guys. Last game ever at Highmark. That'd be cool for him, too, growing up in this area. I think that's a cool storyline, but you want to make sure that these guys stay healthy. Matt Milano's in the same boat. Do you put Dorian Williams at will linebacker a little bit more just because Matt to stay, to keep him healthy? Not that he's injured. He's not. So we know that. We know Josh is off the injury report. Sean said he's good to go. We just talked about, yes, I expect him to start and then get out of the game at some point. We'll see about that. Who else is out of the game? I don't have it in front of me, guys. I apologize.
Daquan Jones.
Poyer, too.
Daquan Jones and Jordan Poyer. Thank you. Daquan Jones and Jordan Poyer. So these are guys who, I don't know if this was a playoff game, would they be more available? Maybe, but we don't know that. And it's not a playoff game, and it's a good idea to kind of rest them another week, wait till next week. We also know they're, still dealing with Dalton Kincaid and, what you want to do with him. And I'd be surprised maybe if he got any time this week because you're still, what's it worth, right, to put him out there right now, give him another week before you do that. Joey Bosa. So I just think that this is a tough, when you look at the injury report, it's not about the injury report as much as it's about really just making sure that they're as healthy as can be. And Sean kind of underscored that today. I think today, one thing that came out, if you listen to him with me, if you listen to him with the rest of the media afterwards, he multiple times brought up the safety and health of the players beyond, this week. And I think he's telling you, like, we just need to be as healthy as we can next week.
Yeah. I think, though, you still would like to win the game if you can, right? I wonder,
that's right.
Because they do have a chance to move up if everything else breaks right, and they'll know a little bit about that by the time they take the field, right? Because there's the only game that impacts them directly is the Charger game against the Broncos. That's in the same window. Everything else is earlier, if I remember right, aside from Pittsburgh-Baltimore, but that doesn't really impact their seeding. Somebody's going to be the four, whoever wins that game. It's like, I wonder, Sal, how much he thinks his backups can beat the Jets in the state they're in.
Yeah. I think Sean McDermott would probably think that his team can still win this game, the people he puts on the field. It's always like, this is not a preseason roster, right? People have to remember that. This is not 90 guys.
Right.
They can only dress 48. And out of that 48, you already have 3 that are ruled out that are normal starters. Like, other guys have to play. They can't just rest everybody and play it like a third preseason game. So I think the guys are going to play. The biggest question is, Mitch Trubisky and him being your starting quarterback. But he'll have a game plan. He's had the starters reps all week. So this is a Jets team that, honestly, Mike and I last week, we both thought the Jets would put up much bigger fight against the Patriots than they did. Oh, my God. I mean, I'm listening to watching and reading New York media, and they're like, they can't believe how much they just kind of laid down and showed no fight whatsoever. And I think this might be a run for the bus game for the Jets, too. So I think the Bills are pretty confident, especially with the environment and how jacked up everybody's going to be, that the team they put out on the field can win this game.
Bulldog is so sorry. He doesn't know it. He's so sorry he missed me talking up the Jets last week. I'd like to see Tyrod Taylor play in the last game of the stadium.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah.
Top 5 Bills quarterback in stadium history? ?
Ooh, Bills quarterback. I mean, you got to go Josh, Jim, Joe, the 3 J's, Ferguson.
Bledsoe?
Bledsoe.
Tyrod.
Tyrod next? Is Fitz next?
Oh,
Fitz has got to be next.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, nice beard, but come on. Come on. Well, ? Was said.
I mean,
question mark
Flutie
was
could be
said.
next.
Who? Flutie.
Flutie could be next.
Flutie?
That's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
People love Fitz.
I do too.
It's not
Whatever.
That's not your best, right?
His brand wasn't being good.
What question are you being asked? Again, circling back to 51-3 versus the comeback game. Like, what are we talking about? A moment, or are we talking about the game, the competition? You
know what though? You just triggered something in my head. That would be great. I have a lot of respect and love for Tyrod myself. I really do. And every time that the Bills have played against him, I've made it a point to just connect and say hello. He's always been very gracious, and I will tell you that every single person that's played with him, including Eric Wood, will tell you how great of a teammate that he is and was. And I think that would be pretty cool if Tyrod got to play this week. I agree with that.
Then he had to go to that one Super Bowl and talk about how harsh the Buffalo media was. I'm like, oh, man, I thought I understood you. I thought I knew you. Wait, get out there. Get to New York. Get to L.A. And he did. Well, not L.A.
Right.
He got to Cleveland, at least.
No, he got to the Chargers.
I know, but L.A. isn't like the harsh football media, probably,
got
just
you.
by
Right.
general stereotypes.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. It's really that bad for you? Anyway, thank you, Sal. Enjoy Sunday. It should be really special.
You got it, guys. You too. See you then.
All right, that is our Sal Kapacio on the West Her Hotline. His appearances are brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet?
Well, top 10 is safe. Maybe top 5 is a little rich. I'm leaving out the rock pile, by the way, if you didn't notice. That doesn't exist today.
It does thin out pretty quick because you start getting to like Edwards and Lossman and like, what are we doing here?
Well, I'm not putting them above them.
Right, exactly. Me either.
You and your Billy Joe Hobart fan fiction.
I saw E.J. Manuel on TV this week.
He's on a lot now.
Yeah, I saw him. Bowl week is a big week for him, or whatever this is called. Is it still called Bowl week? I don't even know. But I was out on New Year's Eve, I think it was, and he was there in the studio.
Yep.
Not a panel, just like him and a host. That's it.
Yep. Breaking down Coastal.
Good for him. I didn't hear any of it because I didn't have the sound on where I was. So, but he looks
good.
He presents well on
He's
TV.
Super good-looking guy.
Yep.
Yes, Coastal and La Tech. We needed to know what was supposed to happen in that game. Same with Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. Somebody's got it. Somebody's job is to tell you
Yep.
what to look for in those games, and it was his this week, and that's to his credit. Somebody gets that call, and it was E.J. Manuel this week, who's not one of the top 5 Bills quarterbacks ever in the stadium.
No.
I'm saying it. You won't say it. I'll say it. 803-0550, Football Friday. It is Friday, by the way. There might be some confusion out there. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog
There
here.
isn't here, I'll tell you that.
We will be here for your calls going up all the way for at least an hour. And right now, though, because you can appreciate this as we are exhausted, it's time for a break. And this break is brought to you by Snapdragon Apples, the official apple of the Buffalo Bills.
their final game at the current Highmark Stadium when they do host the New York Jets this Sunday at 4:25. 3 players have been ruled out for the Bills: Daquan Jones, Jordan Poyer, and Terrell Bernard. And then 3 players are questionable: Joey Bosa, Dalton Kincaid, and Jordan Phillips. And with that, Josh Allen is set to be good to go for Sunday, but we'll find out on game day just how much Allen will be playing. The Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help? Call 1-800-8-million. Pregame on Sunday is going to get underway at 11 a.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff again at 4:25. We'll then hand things off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Kapacio, who will be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Sal also has a piece up at our website, WGR550.com, for more on the injury report from today. Around the rest of the league, much of the NFL is going to be playing on Sunday along with the Bills, but we do have 2 games on Saturday. 4:30, the Bucs host the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers can clinch the NFC South with a win. Then at 8, Seattle's at the 49ers. The winner of that game will clinch the NFC West and the NFC 1 seed. And the Sabres, they are off today, but they're back in action tomorrow at Columbus. Puck drop at 3. And the Sabres, they are going for a franchise record 11th straight win. And then going along with that, some good news today. 3 players from the Sabres are going to be representing their home countries in the 2026 Winter Olympics this February. Tage Thompson for the United States, Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Finland. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
I've been thinking about it all season long, man. I played a lot of ball here. I built a legacy here. I became a great player here. You know, I've seen a lot of things, been in a lot of battles, been in a lot of fights, been in a lot of memorable moments in that stadium. A lot. We've played against Tom Brady in that stadium. No matter what nobody says, it's greatness. Yeah, but that stadium is great, man.
Dion Dawkins, the Bills' Walter Payton Man of the Year Award nominee again this year. I'm not looking for any sort of points, but anytime anybody tweets out or sends an email out that says, like, vote for this because it's local, my instinct is always, why should I? I don't know anything about the other candidates. Is this person the most deserving? If I'm convinced that they're the most deserving, yes, I will do the thing. If not, so no.
Dion's an exception.
I would love to see him win. I mean, I'm sure all 32 Man of the Year candidates, as ever, have done amazing things for their communities. But Dawkins has really sort of, to say the least, impressed. Like, he really lives it.
Yep.
And I would love to see him win. So
I love just how prominently he runs events in the city itself. Not that other places don't deserve charitable attention and help. I just feel like, for me, I've lived in the city almost all my adult life, and it just hits a little harder. It felt to me when I first was living in the city that, like, the teams were in the suburbs. You know, like, their lives were in the suburbs. The stadium is in the suburbs. The hockey rink is downtown, but all the players lived out in Clarence and all this sort of stuff. And anything that left a footprint from them in the city meant a lot to me. And Dawkins is just all about it. I mean, the Northland Workforce Training Center, but my son spent a year working there, going to school there. Just all the events, North Park Theater, like, he's just around in the city in a way that, like, when I was, in my 20s or 30s, it didn't feel like, other than the bars, that the team had much of a presence in the city. And I might be wrong about that. It's just how I perceived it. And to me, that elevates everything Dawkins does. Again, no slight to any other part of the community. I feel like it really hits home for me.
Hear, hear. Aaron is next. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Great.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Just have a quick tidbit about the stadium that I don't think anybody's actually noticed at all. And we're on the precipice of possibly having a rushing leader for this year with Cooks and that. Do you guys know who the first rushing leader in 1973 was?
Of course.
Of course, yeah, it's O.J. Simpson. Yeah, I'm 60 years old, Aaron. Yep.
Well, I'm just saying, though.
Oh, that's a nice bookend. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson had the 2003 rushing leader in 73.
The stadium's first year.
We can bookend it with Cook this year.
Right.
I like that a lot. I am big on. I wanted the Jets. Right, they were the first regular season game, so put that at the end.
Correct.
Turns out Philly was second, so they were second to last. I don't know that was intentional, but it worked out. And I was big on that when the schedule was coming out. And
if you go all the way through Bills history, does it actually is it a palindrome?
I don't know, but I love that kind of thing. And I had not thought of the rushing title as being another version of that, but that's correct. It would be.
Simpson is the only other Bills player in the Super Bowl era to have won a rushing title, and he won 3. 76, I think, was the last one.
So it's not the last time we've had one, but still, it would have been the first year of the stadium.
Yeah, if they were really planning it well, the Cook would have won 2 other times before now. Exactly in the right sort of sequence there. What are his odds? They're probably, he would have to be favored to win it. He's the leader.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting from Taylor in the 1 o'clock window for Indianapolis against Houston. It's a meaningful game for Houston, mostly. If Jacksonville gets a big lead, then maybe it won't be. But I don't know. The Colts would have the same incentive. And they have Riley Leonard, so they might not be as hard to predict offensively as the Bills can be.
Right, but they don't have a stake, so they might be all about just getting him yards. Let's give him the ball if he wants it. Let's give him 30 times and see if we can't put a number up on the board that is hard to catch. Not that it would be impossible, but still.
I would think they would want to do that.
Yep.
And then you have Henry and Robinson. Robinson is also on Sunday afternoon. Henry is Sunday night. And, if there's a score to beat that's posted, if there's a clubhouse leader on Sunday night, there will be. If things go the Ravens' way, they won't make any sort of special effort, but they didn't last week either, and he went for 204 touchdowns.
Right.
So if, that sort of comes available to them, I could see that being – I don't know about incentives. Cook does not have, to my knowledge, he does not have a rushing title contract bonus before him. The Bills have many players that do. And I think Joey Bosa and Daquan Jones is out, right? So Bosa is interesting because he's got money waiting for him with 1 sack and then a lot more if he gets 3.
Oh, boy.
And, maybe he's somebody you would prefer to sit. I don't know. Like that.
Yeah. We were talking in September about bubble wrapping him until January. We're here now. This game doesn't mean hardly anything. I do not need to see him trying to tackle, what's this guy's name?
Brady Cook.
Brady Cook, thank you. Yeah.
You still get the same amount even though it's Brady Cook.
That's right.
It pays the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an interesting dynamic sometimes for a coach.
And if you're gonna, this is where it gets really, I think, tricky. If you're gonna respect the lineman and Cook and want to get him whatever. Let's say Taylor barely passes him, right? In the 1 o'clock window. So Cook needs 25 yards or something to take the lead back from him. He plays, right? But how with a clear conscience can you do that for him? And Bosa's not going for the sack record or any kind of a league mark, but it's an incentive. And so I don't know. Would Bosa be out of line to be like, hey, I'd like to go get my sack if I can. I don't know about 3, but it might be hard to treat everybody differently in that case. I don't know. Maybe it really depends on what the guy wants. Like if Bosa is inclined to just go, you know what? I've made a ton of dough in my life. I need to be healthy for the playoffs and help you. So I'm not worried about it.
$250,000 for 1 sack.
Then I think you can probably, with a clear conscience, if you're McDermott, sit him down. But if he wants it and you're going to let Cook do it, then I don't know, it gets a little convoluted there, I think. Maybe not convoluted is the right word. Complicated. It's similar enough. Anyway.
No, I think you're making the right point. What's fair?
Yeah, right.
Cook can't win any money from the Bills in his contract. Maybe there's other residual. It's a great list to be on.
Yes, it is. Yes,
rushing
it is.
leader. You get a football card.
There's always that. They can never take that away from you either.
Joey Bosa, 1 sack, $250,000. Yeah, I want to play. Against the Jets? I want to play. I'll take a $250,000. 1 sack. Let him just run into me. Let him fall and I'll touch him. Then take me out. Let's make a compromise.
Let me just chase
good.
him out of bounds.
One's good. I don't need 3 for the $750,000. 3 is $750,000. 1 is $250,000. Like, just let me take a shot at 1. I haven't gotten hurt yet. Well, he did once, but
yeah,
I think it's really interesting for a coach.
Yeah, it is.
And here's a guy who has not been a Bill for a long time, but he's got a lot of status in the league. I came here. I'm here to win. I'm here to help you. Mm-hmm. Really? $250,000? You're going to say no? Mm-hmm. You got to sit 5 other guys already. You've got choices to make about who you want to protect. I don't have to be one of them. I've got a chance to make some money here. Khalil Shakir, 8 catches, $150,000. 1 touchdown, $150,000. Dawson Knox, 6 catches, $100,000. 7 receiving yards, $100,000. It'd be just like Knox to get 6 catches for 6 receiving yards. 1 touchdown, $100,000. That's not fair. $100,000. Ty Johnson, 57 receiving yards, $125. 136 rushing. $125.
Both of those will
Ty
hit.
Johnson.
Those are both going to hit for Ty Johnson.
It is your time to shine,
it is
buddy.
your day, man.
2 touchdowns, $250 more.
Unless I don't know, maybe you play Ray Davis predominantly over Johnson. Johnson plays more regularly, so maybe you throttle him down.
But look at the money.
But yeah,
pretty tempting.
Yeah.
For him to want to play, not that he ever wouldn't.
That's a comprehensive. It seems like a comprehensive list.
I'm not half done.
I wouldn't really know.
Milano, sack and a half, $500,000. That brought the room to a halt right there. Oliver, Michael Hoyt on this list will be inactive.
That's not going to happen.
Tough for those guys. Yeah. The Line, presented by FanDuel, coming up. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog at 803-0550. This is WGR. Friday on WGR, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Thanks for being with us. Happy New Year. It's time for The Line, presented by FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. I actually don't know if we're supposed to be doing these on Friday when we don't have Thursday shows, but it feels right. And
I'm happy to participate.
The first conversation with anybody about that. So let's just play it safe and get it in. You really like Carolina? You and Sam both?
I really do like Carolina. I'm not prepared to trust Tampa anymore. They looked so
we'll see
decent early in the year. I don't know about great, but they looked like a team that I thought would run away with that division. And all they've done is sort of stub their toe continuously. So, I feel like I trust, as up and down as Bryce Young and Carolina can be, I feel like I trust them more, and they're getting 3 points. So, yeah, I'm on Carolina. It's hard to find games.
I trust Miss Cleo more than I trust Carolina. Mm-hmm. Has the show ever sounded older? Mm-hmm. I would rather ask Miss Cleo for something than ask the Panthers.
Well, the question is, do you trust Miss Cleo more than Tampa? Because
no.
Okay.
I think we've lost the plot on this. I mean, the Bucks have been a big disappointment. The Panthers are not better than the Bucks. They did just beat them, by the way.
Yeah, right.
2 Sundays ago.
Yeah.
I'm so on Tampa. Maybe I'm a sucker. I'm so on Mayfield and Ibuka and Evans and Godwin and the whole thing over the who? No. At home, -3. Well, I'll go down. I have a Carolina futures bet to win the NFC South 10-1. Okay. They could still get it if Atlanta wins.
Is Atlanta? Who's Atlanta got?
New Orleans.
Okay.
The other division team.
Right. And the red hot Tyler Shuck. Thank you.
Offensive Rookie of the Year favorite.
Yeah. It's amazing that you could play like 6 good weeks.
What a weird year.
That's really what it's been, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just about that. I know you know about good really
Bulldog.
being a blanket there, but like he's got everybody's attention. It seems like they're going to move forward with him next year at least.
Last Sunday morning, in some of the big fantasy football tournaments, you get to a point where, all right, you have to be different. If I'm going to win, I need Joe Blow to go for 30 points, and everybody else has McCaffrey or somebody has to go for 0. Like, you need to take chances. So my one tournament team that had a sniff at a 4-figure payout was a team with Josh Allen and Tyler Shuck as the quarterbacks. And at 11 in the morning on Sunday, I'm like, I'm doing it.
You're putting Shuck.
I'm playing Tyler Shuck over Josh Allen.
Yep.
And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, there are only 2 teams above me out of 20 that had Allen. So it's not like that was 10. It's not like so many teams had Allen above me. So I switched back. And it took New Orleans didn't do anything for the first hour in the 1 o'clock slate. But he ended up throwing for 330. And Allen, 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't even know how it ended. I didn't win. I don't even know if Allen finished above Tyler Shuck or if he didn't. It probably was close.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of decision you have sometimes in those. And I was ready to do it. And they're like, Mike, it's such a hard thing for me to do. I just imagine benching Josh Allen in a Week 17 game over Tyler Shuck, really. But I did it, and then I switched back. And if not for the 2 rushing scores, Allen would have gotten buried by him. They were shut out with 6 minutes left, the Bills. You watched it, probably.
Yes, I did.
You were off. You probably didn't watch it.
No, I totally watched it.
You were in your attic.
I had friends over. I was in the attic a lot, but I had friends over for the game. First time all year.
The Line, presented by FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Back to your calls at 803-0550 after the update. Football Friday continues. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
The Buffalo Bills will in all likelihood be playing their final game at Highmark Stadium this Sunday at 4:25 when they do host the New York Jets. 3 players we do know have been ruled out for Sunday: Daquan Jones, Jordan Poyer, and Terrell Bernard, while 3 players are questionable: Joey Bosa, Dalton Kincaid, and Jordan Phillips. And that means quarterback Josh Allen is good to go. No injury designation for Sunday, but come game day, we'll actually see how much Allen will play. And the Barnes Firm Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Pre-game on Sunday is going to get underway at 11 a.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 4:25. We'll then hand things off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Kapacio, who will be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Around the rest of the league, much of the NFL is going to be playing on Sunday with the Bills, but we do have 2 games on Saturday. 4:30, the Bucs host the Panthers, and Carolina can clinch the NFC South with a win. Then at 8, Seattle is at the 49ers. The winner of that game will clinch the NFC West and the NFC 1 seed. To the Sabres, they are off today. They're back in game action, though, tomorrow at Columbus with a 3 p.m. puck drop. And the Sabres, they are going for a franchise record 11th straight win. And then in other Sabres news, they will have 3 players representing their home countries in the 2026 Winter Olympics this February. Tage Thompson for the United States, Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Finland. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Well, you heard it all right there. It's the drive at 5. It's the final game. Probably. What will it be looking back if it isn't? I mean, number one, it'd be great. Like, you'd love to right now, collect money around your neighborhood if you knew it could help get there to be one more game in the next month. We'd all donate. So that'd be something. Chargers at Bills for the right to go to Super Bowl 60 or whatever that would be. All right. But, Sal, we talked to Sal earlier, and I've come around to his thinking about Sunday. Maybe it's because as it gets closer, I feel a little bit more nostalgic about it. Last Sunday on postgame after the loss to Philadelphia, I'm like, think about what next Sunday is now. What an anticlimax this day is. Like, it's about getting to the Super Bowl and winning it maybe for once and the opportunity the Bills have. But then they're going to close the stadium in advance of that, and it's just road games. I don't know. I think as a fan, I said last week or even Monday, like, as a fan, my attitude would be really twisted up about what this is. I really, if your team is bad, the whole season is about the end of the stadium. And it's fine. You drive Kyle Williams around, victory laps on a tractor or whatever. Like, it's fun. The last game is fun. You had no expectations for anything more. It's really what the season is about. That's not what this season is about. It's there. It's true, but it's not what this season is about. And so I was thinking more, as I'm saying, just that kind of melancholy about it all. But then Sal's like, well, you could also just separate the two because their season can't end Sunday.
Right.
And he's right about that. And maybe you can go in there and just sort of enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Because there's really not that much even on the line.
Everything about it could have tied you up in knots if Allen hit Shakir with that pass. Because one benefit that sprang to mind, and it might be top of mind and already been lapped by other things because I haven't been here talking for how many shows I've missed with time off here around the holidays, but at least New England would have to still be playing. Like how hard and how long they'd have to go, who knows, depending on what's going on with Bills Jets. But you sort of give them the benefit of the week off, and they may take it. I would think they would. If the Chargers are not standing up to Denver, then I can't get there anyway. But at least if the division were still in play, they'd have to go. Now, the downside to that is so would you. you'd be playing for the division, so that means Allen on his gimpy foot and everything else. Bosa could go for his 3 sacks for the $750,000 million,
baby,
instead of just the one for what it was, $250 for the one.
Yeah.
But that can cut both ways. We've seen these Bills teams, recent vintage, get tripped up by having to go hard in Week 18 and not have the full complement of guys. I mean, so the opportunity. That's why I sort of settled into, I'm not worried about 5, 6, 7 anymore. I need to rest. I can't get to the division. I can't get to the 1. Sure, I'd like to be 5 in case 6 and 7 win, and I win, and then I'm home. That is still realistic to me. Whoever is in the 5 spot could have that benefit. I mean, if the Bills are 7, I'm not telling you they can't go beat New England. And so the same holds true for any of those 5, 6, 7 teams, whatever order they're in. I mean, I already saw a look-ahead line while we were doing the line last segment. Bills-Jaguars. Bills are favored by 1.5.
Okay, that sounds about right.
It's the only one. They have a bunch of games up and multiple games for different teams, like multiple possibilities. But the only game they have projected for Buffalo is that one. There's no other choices there. Philadelphia's got a few different games on the board for the playoffs. But still, these we've thought all along, whoever they go play, there's a chance they're going to be favored, even though they're the road team. And I think you could say that about all 3 wild card teams. Excuse me.
Well, you could. I doubt the Chargers are a road favorite anywhere. Maybe Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And
that might be the only one.
Houston, New England. Houston's not favored. The Bills might be favored anywhere, though.
Yeah.
That was a big topic early, through the week, was maybe they will be. Let's go to your calls at 803-0550. We have Brian next. Hi, Brian.
Hey, boys.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Sorry, I'll try to keep this quick. So I grew up a few miles east of the stadium, and I used to be able to hear Stan Roberts call the game on the PA.
From home?
Blowing in the right direction. From home, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. When I could go out in my backyard and hear him clear as day. It was great. But just dozens of memories at the stadium. My family was lucky enough to have season tickets from 1988 to 1995. Pretty good time period.
It's a good pocket, yeah.
Yeah. So my first game by myself was the 9-6 clincher against the Jets, the Fred Smirlis game.
Mm-hmm.
And I left early because my mom told me that if it started raining, I should just go outside and she'd just come pick me up. Well, you couldn't even tell that it was raining on television, so I just sat in the parking lot for the whole
she
second
didn't
half.
know. No cell phone, right?
No cell phone. Yep.
Wow.
So I'm glad that happened because I learned that lesson, and then of course years later in 1993, I'm there for the comeback game, and Bubba McDowell runs the pick six back with my stepdad, and he says, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, let's just stay to the end of the third quarter." And he said, "Okay, as long as it doesn't rain." So by the end of the third quarter, it was 35-31. I said, "Yeah, what do you think? Should we stay?" And he said, "Yeah, I think we should stay." So we talked about that for the rest of our lives. We had that memory. And the two favorite concerts that I went to at the stadium, my first one in '92 was Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Faith No More. Mike, do you know who these artists are?
Yeah, only because I know Chris.
Very well. Well, that was an education in and of itself when I was 15.
There's a Lars in there somewhere, I believe.
Good job. Drummer, Metallica. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, and then the weirdest double bill ever to this day was the following year was the Grateful Dead, where Sting was the opener. That made no sense, but I bought a T-shirt that came with a free joint, and I'm quite sure that there was nothing but chopped chives.
Bulldog, do you know who Sting is?
I've heard of Sting. I think I am familiar.
Good for you, Brian.
Brian, I was going to ask you that you got to concerts eventually. Could you hear concerts? Like if you could hear Stan Roberts, I'll bet you could hear when you were littler, maybe the Stones or the Who and the Clash and all that.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson even. Yeah, right.
Well, I wasn't old enough for that particular one, but yes, as long as you were somewhere near there. Now, the speakers would have been facing the other direction.
Okay, right.
So it's not as easy.
Right.
But I mean, the amount of times that I tailgated and got kicked out, it's just so many memories.
Man, if I had to listen to the PA announcer belch third down every 5 seconds, I would move to Youngstown. But back in those days, this is super cool. Like, you could actually follow the game, I bet. Now, you couldn't do that now because now it's an act. But I mean, that would have been amazing, I think, to do. So
yeah. Long live Rich Stadium.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank
well
you,
done.
Brian. Thank you. Yeah.
I couldn't do concerts like I did some stadium talk this week, but I remember how excited my class was for Thriller. That's 84. I mean, the Jet game he's talking about is 88. But for the Thriller tour.
Yeah.
But I never went to a concert there.
Yeah. I went, I don't know, a handful. Stones. I always mix up the years. I think the Stones are 81 and the Who's 82, or is it 80 and 81? Anyway. The Stones.
When was Benatar?
I don't have that on my bingo card. The Who and the Clash and David Johansen from New York Dolls, that was great. And I also went to they had a series of concerts called Superfests, 1 through whatever. I don't know how many. There might have been 15 of them. And I went to one of the last ones, which was Foreigner, Loverboy, Ted Nugent, and Iron Maiden. Like, Iron Maiden was not like a giant top touring act on their own yet. They were just sort of breaking through in North America anyway. And so they played like a half an hour to start this show, Iron Maiden, like this legendary band in this like tiny little opening slot before Ted Nugent, which is just kind of hilarious to me.
It is. I think I can even appreciate that.
And I don't even really, I mean, at the time I must have liked something about that bill, but none of those bands are bands that I like listen to on any kind of regular basis.
You know what? That was really fun. Thank you, Brian. I've never been more insulted or flattered.
Right. I'm just flattered he listens closely enough to ask that question.
I love that.
That's like a secret handshake question.
I love that. Do I know who Guns N' Roses is? Sort of. Here's Dave next. Hi, Dave.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
So my most fondest memory, real quick, is just actually, I don't know if it's still the coldest game in Bills history against the Raiders. Like, the wind chill was like -20 or 30-something degrees, but that was my most memorable moment.
93 playoffs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually sitting in the rock pile. My uncle took me, but I just I hear a lot of talk about whether we should start the starters or who should play and who shouldn't play. I think it all should matter on what happens in the earlier games. I think that, if Houston and the Chargers lose, I think you at least got to start majority of the starters for the first half to get up on the Jets and then sub them out, because having that 5 seed is quite a difference, even from the 6 seed.
Well, you won't know about the Chargers. They're in the same window as the Bills. They're at 425.
Jacksonville or Houston, though.
Right.
If one of them loses, you're live for this.
Right.
Dave.
Yeah. But either way, I think that it's a very big difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the season has gone, we can sit here and say, hey, the backups should have beat the Jets, but we all know how that went this year. We should have done a lot of things, and it hasn't happened. So
probably the Bills with – thank you, Dave. The Bills with Trubisky are not that much better than the Jets, I think. I feel like that – the line has been 7 or 7.5 all week. If Allen's playing this game, it's double that.
For sure, yeah.
So it's a Trubisky game. And I don't know. It's Trubisky. Last year, Trubisky and Mike White targeted Keon Coleman 10 times in Foxborough. He caught 2 passes. It could be that again, where you're trying to get Coleman somewhere. You're resting Kincaid. You're resting, probably not Shakir. He's got incentives. He never misses. But still, like, you're taking it slow on offense, and you're playing with your backup. How good should the Bills be in a game like that? Maybe the Jets are just so done that you're fine anyway. But this is an interesting scenario. And for me, the likelier of the two is not Jacksonville losing to Tennessee in Jacksonville. Come on. But if they get way ahead, Houston could bail on its game. Because Houston only has this, other than 5, 6, 7. Houston's hoping for the AFC South. But if Jacksonville wins, the door is shut.
Right.
So if Jacksonville gets out 21-0 after one, like New England against the Jets last week, a game like that, Houston maybe could shut it down. And if they lose to the Colts with the Jonathan Taylor, and so the Colts have lost 6 games in a row. Like, I don't know. That's more likely to me than Jacksonville losing.
The Phillip Rivers comeback tour is over.
That's over. It's Riley Leonard. If Houston were to lose, then we're on Dave Street here,
right,
where the Bills winning and Denver winning means you're the 5.
Right.
And that, I think, is it's respectable that you play for that. So he is saying base it on what happens to the Texans or even the Jaguars. And I think that that's fair. You could take Allen out and then it's 10-10 and you put him back in. Like, you could even do that. I think that that's fair. And then you're playing the winner of the night game.
I think it's fair, and you could say this irrespective of the injury, but he's been compromised. I'm glad he's off the injury report. But, and maybe I'd be even more, I don't want him to play at all. I just don't. To me, he won't say the foot bothered him at all on any of the stuff that he missed on Sunday against Philly. But he matters more than who I'm playing next week, I think, to me. So there's no scenario for me where I would be beside myself if they took him out of the game, one snap, you got your start, and then decide to put him back in. I don't need him to play at all. I want the 5, but I have softened enough to say that. Like, if I can't get it done with the other guy playing, then, I'll have to deal with what comes. But he is the number one priority. And regardless of what the injury report says, we've seen him grabbing for his foot. You've seen him hobbling around. I need him as close to full strength for Jacksonville or New England or Denver or wherever I'm going next week. So
fair enough.
I don't want him to play at all.
Shoot him up, but okay, fair enough. Colin is next. Hello.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You're
Love
welcome.
the show. Just to pick up on that last point, I've kind of wanted the 5 for a long time, too. But now with Baltimore sitting there, I wonder what that look-ahead line would be, Buffalo at Baltimore. I don't like that matchup at all. And I also wonder with Houston, if this idea of, might they back off if the South is out of play. I think they would want to be playing for the 5, too, because I don't think they want to go to Buffalo potentially down the line.
That's right.
Anyway, just a couple of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've loved the conversation, and I liked a couple callers ago turned it to concerts at the stadium. I wonder if one amazing moment at this stadium might not come in the future. Is it possible that if the Bills went to either the AFC Championship or more, I'm thinking about the Super Bowl, could they host a big watch party there? I've always wondered where I would watch a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl, not living in Western New York. Could I come up to the stadium, and would there be a huge watch party? I think Detroit had one. Obviously, it's a dome, so it's a little bit different, but they had one for their NFC Championship game a couple years ago. I just love the idea of the fans filling the stadium for a Super Bowl watch party. I wonder if that's a possibility.
It's a good idea. You'd have to do they have the screens? Like, you'd have to put screens all over the field so everybody could watch the game and be able to see everything from their seats. It sounds probably like more than the Bills would want to undertake. I'm not sure they'll be taking the stadium down by then.
Scoreboard, yeah, I'm pretty sure they won't be doing that. You've got the big one. Are there 2? There's another one above the suites in the corner, like the tunnel end. There's a video board there. There's 2, but I feel like one only shows like stats and stuff.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
It's not good enough.
If there's enough.
It's
there.
not Dallas,
right?
Where I could have a seat on the upper deck and watch the game, right? Like I'm almost like I'm at home,
looking at my TV. Yeah,
that's not the point. The point is to be together,
right?
But
you want to have a way, like an arena is an easier way to do that with the jumbotron in the middle. Like the biggest screen in the building is in the middle of the building.
You could do that,
and you can watch that. You could maybe it's more realistic. It's going to be way less people, but you could pack 20,000 people into the arena for this for sure.
I don't know though. Are the Mammoth in town?
Oh, I haven't. Yeah.
Is there a game?
Not looked at potential schedule conflicts with the Super Bowl.
I should stop condescending the Sabres. They've won 10 games in a row. Tage Thompson has rediscovered beast mode. The game he had in Dallas was sick. He's going to the Olympics. They're in it. It's funny, like, it's literally what Paul said they needed to do to make it interesting, and they did go and they're not. I don't think it's going to be 11. Maybe it'd be cool if they did to be a franchise record. They have literally won 10 straight. The number.
Right. The
at Edmonton,
saying, right.
At Seattle, at
Vancouver,
St. Louis, at Dallas. I mean, just what's to say?
That was
their best win.
Dallas was so impressive.
That might have been their best one.
I would say that they out Dallas. They really just took everything away in that game. It's really, to me, the biggest difference. I mean, it's hockey, right? You're going to get some overtime luck and some shootout luck and whatever. And you can, we saw this happen in 2018. The Sabres won 10 in a row, and it just, the bucket that was carrying that win streak had holes all over it. This one, maybe they're getting more saves above expected than they should be or something, right? It's not bulletproof.
No doubt.
But the way that they are shutting games down is the biggest difference. Win streak or not. Like, they could have won 7 of these 10, and I think I would still be able to make the same point. Like, they are just buckling games down, which is really, it's a sign of everyone giving everything they can. Like that's because it's hard to just do that, to dig in defensively and get sticks in lanes and all this stuff, and they are just doing it.
The Friday Drive at 5 is brought to you by Northtown Hyundai, Western New York's premier Hyundai dealership. Shop online at northtownhyundai.com and by Northwest Bank. For what's next, get started at northwest.com and by Excelsior Orthopedics Express. Sidelined with a sprain, strain, or break? Get to Excelsior Orthopedics Express. We'll talk some more after the update. Bills and Jets, 4:25 on Sunday. You guys knew that, right? They changed the time to 4:25 so that nobody got an unfair advantage between the Bills, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Chargers, those teams. That's the deal. So there's that, 4:25. Not Saturday.
Hate it.
Hate it.
Hate it. I hate 4:25.
The whole game will be in the dark, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's what I...
Red helmets, they'll sort of be shiny.
Okay, yeah, sure.
With the lights on.
I never know when to eat when the games are at 4:25.
Oh, that's a great point.
I never know.
Here's one idea.
I'm too nervous. I mean, I don't know if I'll be nervous in this game, but like I don't want to eat while the game is going on. I'm my mind is I'm working. I'm not going to sit here eating chicken wings. I don't know. I just don't feel I don't feel relaxed enough to do that. I think is probably the point.
To eat wings.
And then like we get done at post games like 9:15, 9:30, whatever. Like I just don't know. I don't know when to eat. I'm a grown man and I don't know when to eat when the game is at 4:25.
No, I think this is a good point. Because, you're making your own dinner often too.
Right.
And so when you going in during the 1 o'clock, the witching hour,
right?
And whipping up a soup,
probably not.
Probably not. No, it's order out time. But yeah, I feel this.
Thank you.
Good point.
Thank you.
What I did last week doesn't even really apply because we ordered pizza on Saturday as my family was going on a trip Sunday, so I ate the pizza on Sunday and Sunday night. That was just what was there.
I've done some of that this week.
I made sure to order enough pizza so that I would be able to eat before and after the game without having to do anything else.
My wife goes back to work tonight, so I'm on my own for dinner, and we have leftover pizza stuff, like just to make homemade pizza. And I just did this on New Year's Eve, but I think it's wrong. I'm just going to go home and make a pizza. I mean, it's good. Pizza is delicious.
No, it's fine. It's good.
But if I've ever been in my life sick of pizza, and dare I say even beer, I might be at that point right now. Guys, like enough of all of that. I should go home and eat a salad and have a tonic water.
Get the artichokes back out.
Right.
If any were left. We will continue after, like it or not, after sports, Football Friday on WGR.
in all likelihood be closing up this current version of Highmark Stadium on Sunday at 4:25 when they host the New York Jets. 3 players have been ruled out: Daquan Jones, Jordan Poyer, and Terrell Bernard, while 3 players are questionable: Joey Bosa, Dalton Kincaid, and Jordan Phillips. And that does mean quarterback Josh Allen does not have an injury designation, but we will see how much he actually does play come Sunday. The Barnes from Injury Report, it is brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Much of the NFL is going to be playing with the Bills on Sunday, but we do have 2 games on Saturday. At 4:30, the Bucs host the Panthers. Carolina can clinch the NFC South with a win. Then at 8, Seattle is at the 49ers. The winner of that game will clinch the NFC West and the NFC 1 seed. And then the Sabres, they are off today, but back in action tomorrow at Columbus, a 3 p.m. puck drop. And if the Sabres do win tomorrow, it will be a franchise record 11th straight win. And some other Sabres news: 3 players on the team will be representing their home countries in the 2026 Winter Olympics this February. Tage Thompson for the United States, Rasmus Dahlin for Sweden, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Finland. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Congratulations to Barb F. for being our final lucky winner of the Football Friday Tailgate Tray giveaway, and there's no shame at all in being the last one. Maybe that's the theme of the week. It's a season of endings.
Finality, yeah.
Good for you, Barb F. You've scored a $300 Tailgate Tray certificate from Alibaba Kebab. Fire up your taste buds at any of their 3 locations. Let's go to Gary next. Hi, Gary.
Hey, Mike Bulldog. Thanks for taking my call. Some of my memories are I grew up in Lackawanna, New York. I live in Alpharetta, Georgia now. But some of my fondest memories were not necessarily in the stadium, but outside the stadium. So in 1982-ish, when I was 14, I would drive my bike up to the stadium. It was only 2.5 miles. And I would watch them practice, but I would get all their autographs. So we're going back to Joe Ferguson, Joe Cribbs, Jerry Butler, Lou Picone, Fred Smirlis, Jim Haslett, Conrad Dobler, Joe DeLamalure. And I still have those autographs to this day in a photo album under my bed. And just very, very fond memories of growing up around that stadium. So thank you for taking my call.
Gary, before you go, do you happen to know a story about one time? I don't have any memories of going to the stadium on this night because at the last minute I couldn't go, and your now wife was told that I would not be going with her to the game?
No, but I'll ask her about
that. You want to hear the story?
What just happened?
I said a lot right there. So,
yes, because I have a story too that I want to tell you that has to go back to college with you and my wife. But go ahead.
Okay. So Gary's wife, she texted me during the break, like, my husband's on hold, like, this is going to be good. So there was a night game. You might know it. The Bills played the Colts on a Sunday night. They won the game, I think, 38-zip. And early that afternoon, I got a call from the Amerks asking if I could do the PA for their game that night that involved the Sabres. It was an exhibition game with the Sabres. Like, oh, no. And Sue and I were just friends. It was only that. But she and I were planning to go to the Bills game together. And I'm like, oh, my God, I cannot say no to this.
Right.
Like, I'm going to do PA for a Sabres game. I'm 20. Like, I have to say yes to this. So I decided to do that. And, you know, we're in the dorms. And I went to Sue. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't go. Something just came up. Do you want it? I can't take the tickets. I don't even know. I don't think she did, but like I had to cancel on her, which I hated, to do this other thing. And so.
And look at you now.
I look at me now. I have no memories of the Colts game in 1992, other than feeling terrible for not being able to go to it, Gary.
But you did take her to her first game there.
I did?
Yes.
Okay. That's good.
End zone, and it was in the winter, and she froze.
Okay, well, I did have a few of those. I don't remember that.
Is this your Arizona game with the no socks or
New
the
Orleans.
wrong shoes, New Orleans?
Did she go to that? Is it the Saints? I don't remember what game that was. Well, it wasn't this Colts game.
Yeah.
But a funny memory, though, because obviously that was your senior year, and when I would come up to visit her, and when I first met you for the first time, And we're like, oh, I'm Mike, and oh, what do you do for a living? And well, I'm going to be on the sports, air radio waves. And I thought to myself, yeah, right. Good luck with that. You know what the chances are of that happening? And now here you are killing it. So every time I hear you on the radio, Sue and I talk about it, and I laugh like, oh, my God, he did what he said he was going to do.
Well, that's very special to hear. Best to you, Gary. Happy New Year, and to Sue as well.
Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Well
You're welcome.
done. Well
You're
done.
welcome.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said, look at you now. You took that Amherst gig and you showed Gary what was what.
Victor Gordiuk scored late in the Sabres won against Washington.
Victor Gordiuk.
LaFontaine played, I think, like a 5-4 game at War Memorial Arena. Wow, I can't remember the official name of the place. There. You know the place I'm talking about.
Yes, Blue Cross.
The Blue Cross Arena before it was called that. Here's Matt next. Hi, Matt.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Great, Matt. Thanks for calling.
Did I know your wife when she was in college?
No, Matt. Matt knew my
Probably
wife
not,
when
but
they were in
that's
college.
okay. I'm sure if you did, it would have been a good relationship. So, anyway. So, guys, I got to tell you, I've been listening so diligently over the past few weeks, and I haven't heard anybody talk about there was a game in 2002, early December, against the Dolphins. And I remember going with my brother-in-law, and it was, we destroyed the Dolphins, but the snow was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was at this game.
Me too.
It's my snow game for the stadium.
Yeah, right? I remember it was blinding. I couldn't see the field by the end of the game. I couldn't see anything, but it was deafening. Everybody was screaming and yelling and just so excited because it was such an amazing game, and we were destroying the Dolphins. And I just remember sitting there and I got a Tim Hortons hot chocolate or whatever, a hot chocolate. And I brought it back. By the time I got it back to my seat, it was cold. It was just such a fun game to be at. It took us forever to get home because it was so much snow. And people keep talking about the Indianapolis game, but I feel like this game was, I don't know, it had to be at least as bad.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
Standpoint.
You're right, Matt.
I don't remember the snow piling up on the field the way it did in the Indianapolis game, but it was a scene. I mean, it was a straight-up snow game, and there were pockets within the game where it was really coming down. This is the Ricky Williams went off, but Bledsoe hit Peerless Price, and Price runs into Jim Kelly's arms in the end zone. Like Kelly's there in a varsity high school jacket, but it's a Bills jacket.
Yep.
And he's just out there with, I remember thinking, he's no hat on. It's just in the end zone, probably got a flask in his back pocket. And here comes Peerless Price. I'm thinking Dan Marino would not be standing in this end zone right now. This is look at this guy.
I know, and I ripped him.
I love that so much.
I ripped him the next day.
Not
ripped him, but I was working with Chuck, and he was like you right there, sort of going in on Kelly, the cheerleader. You know what? He should probably calm down. He's not on the team. Somebody should tell him he's not on the team anymore. And we went to commercial, and Chuck was like, wow, that was good. And I put my head in my hands, oh, no, probably wasn't. But, you're not on the team anymore. Relax.
Yeah.
Was my take on that, which I kind of still do feel that way. But, not to disagree with your point about Marino.
It really added to the day for me to see him really, really. I mention it every time I think about that game. It's a real highlight to me.
I love that I sort of was mad at him for it. Come on, dude. You don't play anymore. You can relax. Sit down. Get your own hot chocolate somewhere and just enjoy the game with the rest of us. Okay, picks next. Football Friday on WGR.
nothing and never will. What does that make me? And I'm not here just defending myself, but all those pickers out there who've been caught. Each and every one of them who has to suffer the shame and humiliation because of people like you.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Are we not human? If we pick, do we not bleed?
On WGR.
I am not an animal.
Sports Radio 550.
Just a quick bit of housekeeping. It does sound like, yes, that 1989 John Forcade Saints game was the one that I took my friend Sue to for her first game. And my excuse is I didn't wear socks to that game because I was like living on my own for the first time and didn't realize that you need to sort of dress for yourself. And my feet were probably so cold that I forgot the whole experience.
Yeah. Somehow that's what sticks out to me about you. When you talk about memories of the stadium, I remember you no socks at a snow game.
Yeah. Gary, her husband who called in, and maybe also Sue in the text was like, yeah, I was freezing.
Yeah.
That had to be it. I also went to the
there was
the
a long
backwards
ride
punt
back
game.
to Rochester.
It could have been the backwards punt game.
Okay. It's not much of a snow
Arizona.
game, but it was rain.
But
right?
it was super cold.
Yeah.
Windy. Arizona 90. The Phoenix Cardinals, I should say. All right, time for picks. This is not, for me, what feels like a good omen, but these came very easy to me.
All right.
Today.
Giddy up.
6.5 is a lead? I'm taking a lead into the playoffs.
That is what I've got, yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I know you're on Carolina. I'm so on Tampa, -3. We've lost the plot on these two teams. I mean, who do you want in the alley? The Bucks or the Panthers? Give me Tampa, -3. It's not even a real number. Home team. Tampa wins this game. If they don't win the division, they don't. But I like them in this matchup.
Carolina can still win the division if Atlanta wins their game because a three-way tie knocks Tampa out.
How about that?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Who saw that coming? I also, let's try to go in order here. I'll take the Colts. +10.5 in Houston. In my mind, if Jacksonville races to a lead, Houston can shut it down. Maybe not. Maybe they'll have a different attitude about rest versus maybe the 5 seed or something. But it's been a hard road for the Texans, and there might be that possibility here. 10.5. Jonathan Taylor going for a rushing title. Riley Leonard, maybe a different vibe. The Colts have been in close games. They've lost 6 in a row. Did they run for the bus or do they compete? Division game in Houston. I'll take Indianapolis and double digits.
Are you home free on all your Colts bets? You right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I cashed out a long time ago on all of it because they were basically offering me almost the full amount.
Yeah.
It was such a given that they weren't going to win that division. The one bet I wish I could have tried harder to find when they were 8-2 was to lose 7 straight because that was my prediction. And I talked to Sam, maybe on the air even, and he's like, yeah, you could have found that for 200 to 1 or something, but I didn't have that pop up on my phone.
Right.
But all the, shorts on the Colts paid off. Pick 3. Not sure what time this game is. I'm going to take Green Bay +8.5 at Minnesota. So what is this? Malik Willis against?
That's a 1 o'clock game.
Good. Whoever.
On CBS.
I know, I hate that.
Come on.
Whoever Minnesota's rolling out.
It used to be a proper country.
Maybe Minnesota, they blitz on every play anyway. Maybe Minnesota just makes a special effort here, but the Packers don't have a team that's so top heavy that, they're sitting guys. I don't care. I'll take 8.5 with Green Bay. Pick 4, Denver bombs the Chargers. -12.5 with Denver. Look what happened last year when they had the Chiefs in this spot. They won 38-0. The Chiefs had 3 first downs. The Chargers are not competing. On Monday, Jim Harbaugh was ready to tell you Herbert was sitting. Trey Lance, good luck. Denver needs the game for home field. They get it. Big win. And I'll take Pittsburgh Sunday night. I hate it. I hope I'm wrong. I think it's a way more interesting playoff if it's Baltimore and not Pittsburgh. Give me a 3-point Ravens win, and I win in every category. But, these games are always close, and I don't trust Jackson and the Ravens right now to just be decisive winners on the road against the Steelers. Really? Maybe they are. Maybe they're the line always loves the Ravens. And maybe that's the lesson I should take here is that Baltimore is the pick. The way I thought Indiana was yesterday, because 7.5 over Alabama, I guess I got to do it. And they won by 35. Tampa, Indy, Green Bay, Denver, Pitt.
Keenan Allen's got a bunch of incentives for the Sunday too. And I read an accounting of him sort of like, hey Trey, sort of in the locker room, because you got like one, there's like a few $100,000 for a touchdown or like whatever, yards, catches. He's got stuff for everything. So I wonder what they do with that, if anything. All right, as you mentioned, I'm going to take the Panthers. And I agree. I think we have lost the plot, and the plot now says the Bucs aren't that good anymore. I'm just going to take the 3 points and expect a close game, so I'll take the gift of the 3. I don't have a good feel really for either one of these teams right now, other than the fact that the Bucs just seemingly could not get out of their own way for more than a month here down the stretch. I will take the 49ers also Saturday night, getting 1.5 points.
2.5.
Oh, it's 2.5. Well, look at you. Thank you. That's a gift.
I can't believe that. I'm afraid to take the Niners because of that.
I know. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Whatever. I'm right there for it. I'll go.
You'll bite.
I'll bite on that. They've been just a barn fire for weeks here on offense. Like, Purdy can't be stopped. We'll see if they can stop Seattle. I mean, they couldn't stop. Who they had?
Caleb.
Right. So we'll see if they can turn Darnold into a big game pumpkin again. But getting 2.5, I love it. I will also. You took Steelers.
I did.
I'm going to take Baltimore minus the 3.5.
That's good.
Looking to gain some ground, so hopefully these two that I've got opposite you go my way, because those are the only two we've got. You didn't touch the Jaguars, right?
Am I wrong for wanting the Ravens to win? It's so much more interesting than the Steelers. The Steelers are just such a dud.
I don't feel wrong. I don't feel like they're that different, these two teams anymore. Okay. I know what Lamar Jackson has been. I'm not scared of the Ravens anymore. Myself, speaking for me, they're more of a threat than Pittsburgh, but
I wouldn't pick Pittsburgh as anybody.
It's not right
in the playoffs.
Same, but I'm not. I don't know. A couple of weeks ago, before I left for my holiday break, I decided I'm not that scared of the Ravens anymore. It looks sideways. It's been sideways. Maybe they'll get there, and maybe they'll put it all together. Maybe they have the year a lot of people are hoping the Bills have, where it's harder than you thought it was going to be. Not that the Bills have struggled like Baltimore has, but get in and then just get hot. I mean, that could happen. Last time they won the Super Bowl, that's kind of what happened. They got it. Not that they limped in or anything, but still, Flacco put 3 incredible games together and they won the Super Bowl. Anyway, I'll take the Ravens. I like the Titans getting 12.5. All year I've been, Cam Ward's actually good.
Wow.
I'm going to go down swinging one last time. Just keep it close, Cam Ward. That's all I need. And I'll take Dallas minus 3.5 at the Giants, because it seems exactly like one of the most Dallas things ever for them to go win a meaningless season finale at the Giants, like 40-10.
You got to admit, though, a Giants thing would be winning this game with the second pick, if not even the first pick. That would be a very Giants thing, too. What a matchup. No Javonte Williams, by the way, for you sickos who play fantasy in Week 18. Sam Panayotovich, nationally acclaimed sports betting analyst, joins us, or did join us earlier today. We'll have that conversation next. It is Football Friday on WGR.